Good afternoon, outliers. How are y'all doing today? Ooh, it's a big day in the market. Big day with the pullback there. Well, that's all right. We're ready for it. In fact, we're going to talk in a minute about you can see it coming, right? You can see things like this coming if you just pay attention. Right, Mikey Mike? Good to see you. Alan's here. Ryan, good to see you. Marco says, hola. Ryan, Chris is the king of being fashionably. Give me a break. Listen, I was literally in the shower. It's 2:03 p.m. right now. I was in the shower until 1:56. At 1:57, I was getting dressed. And at 1:58, I started heading this direction. Okay, I'm doing my best here. Doing my best here. Marco says, still watching the Powell Ranger. No, I actually don't pay attention to that. Most of the time, you guys have to tell me what happened with the moves. Because news doesn't matter. All I care about is price. Peter from the Netherlands is here, though. He probably beat me here. Marco, anyone here trading option contracts? I like option contracts. I'm just not trading any right now. Brian says, yeah. Hello, Hectech. Hello, Jean-Louis. Hello, Mari. Hello, John James. Hello, Bob. Hello, Coach B. Hello, Tommy. Hello, Ryan again. Nice swag, though. Coach B says, I want you to know I just switched from Powell to you. That is power, dudes. Ultra sick. Certainly undeserved without a doubt. But I tell you what, let's watch a video. Yorn's here. Hey, buddy. Here's Yorn. All right, let's watch this video here. This video is called Emergency Weekly Recap, DeepSeek, Tesla, Nvidia, AMD, AVGO, and more. A lot of people have been requesting an Invest with Henry video. In the metrics that I track in order to pick videos, he's not been showing up lately. So that's why we haven't seen him. But I have seen a lot of people requesting it. Like, I think Ryan probably has too. Oh, God, Invest with Henry. Here we go.
And there's still volatility going on in the market due to DeepSeek. In this video, I'm going to be revealing a lot of research going over the wild swings, the historic market events that we've had with DeepSeek coming into the market, and I'm going to be discussing several stock positions that I have, such as Nvidia and Tesla. Nvidia, which is a leader in semiconductors and AI, recently lost $600 billion. The stock is down a lot, Broadcom is down a lot, and a lot of AI stocks are down a lot. The largest single-day loss ever recorded for a public company. So this is some really big historic news. At the same time, there's also a lot of high-profile trades being made by insiders. Take a look at Nancy Pelosi. Her husband is buying call options on Google. That's a big play. Take a look at SoFi. SoFi came out with fantastic earnings, but I kind of got robbed when the market went down a couple of days ago. And today, I want to reveal my research for what I see going forward and the AI revolution specifically. So if you have some time, or let me give you a quick summary, and then we'll go over the rest of this today's research that I want to display to you. So first of all, I'm going to be talking about DeepSeek and the AI impact on the market. I'm going to talk about SoFi, the earnings that they had. I'm going to show you Tesla and Nvidia. I'm also going to show you multiple Wall Street analysts' opinions and some shockingly contradictory stuff, which I see happening on Wall Street. And at the end of this video, I'm going to actually spend a good amount of time walking through an article that will blow your mind. This is an article that I read back in 2017 about the AI revolution and how exponential growth will impact AI and what that will mean for the stock market and for our lives, which we can't even begin to imagine. So that's going to be at the end of the video if you have time for that. So let me go give you the important stuff and then the fun stuff later in case you don't have time to watch this whole video. So let's jump into it. First of all, tech stocks saw significant sell-offs, including Nvidia and Broadcom. This is obviously due to China having DeepSeek. That's very simple and straightforward. I view the sell-off as a temporary reaction. This is a reaction. This is something that has instilled fear into the market, and algorithms are selling off a lot of the AI companies, and then you see investor panic. This is
all right. Now this is my cue. This is my cue. Let's talk about investor panic. Let's talk about wait, what did he say?
Just hurt to the market as a temporary reaction. This is a reaction.
Let's talk about temporary reactions.
This is something that has instilled fear into the market, and algorithms are selling off a lot of the AI companies, and then you see.
I would also like to point out, anytime you hear the word algorithm thrown around, or market makers, or the they, right? Just tune that person out. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter who's clicking the buttons on the other end, right? I'll put it to you this way. There is no person or company or anything else on the opposite end of your trade who's actively out to take you down, right? I've seen, listen, I dealt with this for a long time, thinking that there was always some sort of market maker manipulating the markets, trying to take me out, right? No, their one job is to make as much money as possible. If you happen to be on the other side of that trade, that sucks, right? But there's nobody like specifically looking at the market and say, oh, there's Randy's trade, I got to get him. Oh, Marco, he better not put that trade on. Let's take him out, right? There's nobody there trying to take you down, right? There are no algorithms that are programmed to say when Coach B puts on a trade, we need to make sure that he loses this trade. So many people get caught in the it's the us versus them, right? Their one job is the exact same as your one job. You're not going to believe this. Your one job is the same as their one job, and that is to make money. The way we do that is through price. If price is going up, they're making money, and you're probably making money too. But if you want to bet against the trend, if you want to bet against the way that the stock is going, that's when you feel like it's attacking you. That's when you feel like the market gods just look down upon you and say, every single trade you put on will be a loser. Right? No, that doesn't happen. So first off, don't look at it as if this is a competition. The market's telling you where it's going. Through price, your job is to follow that. And don't question what the price is doing, because the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. But all you got to do is trade in the direction of the trend. And of course, the trend will bend. But let's first take a look at Nvidia. So give me a moment over here to do some clicky clickies. So NVDA. And then I'm going to pull up the Nvidia chart. And then while those load, let me introduce myself. My name is Christopher Ewell. I've twice been awarded top 100 people in finance. I was mentored by 5 of the market wizards, the best traders of all time. I've been successfully trading since 2009, and this is where we save time, make money, and start winning with less risk together as a team. But before we start trading, we're going to dive into this video of the day, and of course, stick around to see how we rank it out of 10, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. So, Nvidia. We covered this for the last while, right? It was bouncing in and out of this order block right here. I think it had bounced 6 or 8 times right in this area. Then it got murdered, right? It woke up one day and it was like the Lord of the Rings and the ring wraiths were standing over it, and they all had their swords, and it was like destroying. Oh geez, that's going to be a meme. It was destroying. I'm not going to do that again. It was destroying all the hobbits laying in the beds, right? That's what happened to Nvidia one day. That sucks. But here's a couple things to keep in mind. While yes, that was a big sell-off, right? While it was a big sell-off, the trend is down. The trend is currently down. You've got your outlier trend template showing the 10 is under the 20, price is under the 50. Okay. Now, if we're going to talk about fear and greed, that's our bread and butter right here. So I may have to reload that screen just a second here. Maybe to let that reload. While that reloads, let me catch up on the chat. Yorn asks, can you go over the order block settings in TrendSpider? He has a default 28, but cannot set him to add 50. Yorn, make it 2 separate indicators. You know, kind of like if you were to have like 2 moving averages on there, make it 2 separate indicators, and then you can do a 28 and then a 50. And most of the time they're going to overlap, but there are opportunities where they're both showing different things. Oh yeah, somebody mentioned in the Discord that it was acting slow today. Okay, that's all right. We'll work with it. I know my hedge has already been on a phone call with Microsoft Azure to try and figure this out. Marco says, can you explain sometime how overnight holding fees on option contracts work? Bro. Overnight holding fees on option contracts. I don't know of any overnight holding fees on an option contract. There's theta decay, right? There's of course the commission fee that you've got to put on, the clearing fee that you've got to put on. But as far as I know, there's no overnight holding fee. It's got to be theta decay that you're talking about. Now, options do decay over time, and that's what I talk about whenever I look to put on an option, is that extrinsic value will go to 0 on every option contract, on every stock, every time, no matter what. I want to pay as little of that as possible. So I like to go 20% or less with the deep in the money calls, right? Tech hasn't seen this video yet. Coach B was talking to Yorn. Mikey Mike was talking about the $600 billion wipe off. Yeah, KS fresh, looking fresh as could be. So let's see the hot takes. Randy says, been watching Pal all day. Sean from the UK. How you doing, man? Yorn's saying thanks. Thomas, hello. Coach B, market makers are essential for maintaining orderly liquid markets and ensuring efficient price discovery. But their job is not to hunt you down. Just doesn't happen. They're going after my stops. Dude, so many people do that. I love me some Nvidia. Marco, what's your opinion on market makers pushing prices higher in order to fill those order blocks? Yeah, no. That's what I was just talking about, right? It's not necessarily market makers going around, doing this or that. It's who's in the trend, right? It's human psychology at work, right? It's who's buying, who's selling, and how is the trend moving. Okay. So I wouldn't even I would take that, fold it up, put it in an envelope, set it on fire, and forget about it. Could be like I say, because there are no people out there hunting your stops. It's just not a thing. Can you look at Mike's Discord play today? Maybe. I do have to cut this one a little bit earlier today. I'm not sure how much Discord talk I can get. Robert Clemens. Hey, John, I want to see that meme. No, you don't. Nuh-uh, we're not doing that. All right, back to Nvidia here inside the outlier, right? So looking at the fear and greed here, right? So Nvidia, we got this buy signal, and it didn't pan out to be the best one. However, right, there's more than one buy and sell signal that ever comes. Outlier has a 1,524% return following the buy and sell signals. Just want to point that out. But fear was coming out of Nvidia, hadn't quite reached the greed, and now fear is coming back in. But this fear level, we go from a scale of 0 to 50 on fear and 0 to 50 on greed. It's at 8. Like we haven't seen fear yet, and that concerns me. We talked a little bit earlier this week that if there is a broad market sell-off, I think it's going to be bigger, bloodier than you could ever imagine, right? Because we have not seen fear in this market. The last 2 years, people are getting complacent as could be and buying every single dip. I don't know how many people commented and said, hey, Chris, you're an idiot, right? I bought Nvidia at the low. It's going to go back up. It's not working out so well, is it, right? I mean, if you bought at the low, you're up a couple bucks. I'll agree with you there, but your trend is down. More fear is coming back into Nvidia. And what has kept me out of the market, what has led the market and does almost every time, which I need you to pay attention. This is a really, really, really strong thing here. So when I first started trading with the outlier data, one thing that I noticed was that the more names showed up on the bear list, the more names that showed up with sell signals, the worse my trades got. Okay, follow the logic here. And so I reached out to Mahesh one day and I said, Mahesh, every time the bear list gets bigger, my trades seem to get worse. Do we have some sort of market breadth number that I can put together? So Mahesh sent me the list of all the buy and sell signals that we ever had. And we have 61 sell signals today versus 41 new buy signals today. So Mahesh sent me the list of all the buy and sell signals we ever had. And I looked at the lists and I was comparing them to my trades. And I was like, wait a minute, because I'm really good at spotting patterns. Like I am an analyst to the core. When the market breadth, as measured by how many stocks have a buy signal, was getting worse, my trades got worse. When the market breadth was getting better, my trades got better. Right, my win rates, my P&L on each trade, like it was a real noticeable correlation there. So I actually crafted this indicator here. I did it myself. Thank you very much. And one thing that I noticed was when we reach a peak, right? We reach this peak up here, and when over 75% of the market has a buy signal, that becomes an overbought area for me. That's what I look for. But I don't mind it if it continues to go up. What we saw was the market getting really overbought, where we had 66, 67, 73, 74, 75%, and then it peaked at 75 and started to come back down, 74, 73, right? So a couple days ago, I put out on my YouTube community feed, I said, I think we're about to see the acceleration of a pullback here, which is exactly what we're seeing. Totally nailed the timing on that. Right? It's exactly what we're seeing right here. So where I'm going with that is pay attention to market breadth. If market breadth is expanding, if more stocks are pushing in one direction, right? That's more stocks that are in this area down here, getting those buy signals, pushing the market up. But what happens when we have so many people who have pushed the market up and already bought those signals? All that's left are for sellers. This cartoon is cyclical, right? This is cyclical. This is human nature, how it plays out in the market. Now, to Henry's point here, we do not have any sort of close to extreme fear in the market, not even extreme fear in Nvidia. But when we do, I think it's going to be catastrophic. I hope we don't see that for a long, long time. But I even a 10% pullback on the SPY is going to result in a major, major amount of people being scared to death. A 10% correction puts us back to where price was in September, right? It's really not that big a deal. But when people got used to buying every dip and it only goes up for 2 solid years, a 10% correction like this is going to wipe out accounts like you've never seen. It's going to be scary. We're not even close. We haven't even started. No way. Okay, let me catch it back on the chat. We'll go back to the video here. I'm not sure if I can get to that today, like I said. Robert, very new investor here. I want to directly thank you for your rule about protecting investments. I set a stop loss on Nvidia Sunday, ended up saving me a buttload of money. Yeah, dude, you are welcome, and congratulations for that, saving that money right there. Marco, all right. So it's in the same nonsense, that liquidity grabs and the other shenanigans. Glad to be here and got sense talk. Yeah, dude, there's so uneducated people like to say that there are people out there trying to take you out. Like there's stop hunters and there's things like that. It's not a thing. The one job everybody has in the market is to follow price as it's going up, because only price pays. Nobody's out to get you. All right. This is not like a bully on the playground trying to take you out. Let's continue on.
Investor panic. This is just herd behavior. Now, I'm not going to lie. This is kind of bad in the short term. All right. So this pullback is expected. However, I believe it's a little bit overblown, to say the least. And I'm not altering my long-term outlook on demand for computer power. Advances in efficiency could lead to new AI applications, and DeepSeek coming out in the market is actually, I think it's a brilliant thing for the market overall, and it actually has a testament to the market, and it kind of proves how valuable AI is. So although we had a big sell-off, this sell-off is just a bunch of sheep running into one direction, but then they can come back to the same direction, back to the same location. So it's really not a big deal, aside from the short-term pains. And obviously, you see the tech Silicon Valley billionaires losing immense amounts of money, right? Billions of their net worth. But despite the short-term disruptions, Nvidia remains critical for for the computer solution. Nvidia remains critical for the AI revolution. Why? Well, competition amongst AI providers.
Looks like he's reading that, like he's created a script.
Like OpenAI, Amazon, Microsoft, they are going to have continued GPU demand. That demand is not going anywhere. And you see Nvidia selling picks and shovels. What picks and shovels means, if you don't know, it's basically...
This is a fair point. Very fair point.
When the gold rush was happening in the United States of America, it was decades ago, the entrepreneurs that were selling picks, shovels, supplies to miners often made a lot more and more consistent profit than the miners searching for gold themselves. So see, Nvidia is taking advantage of the same opportunity where Nvidia is selling GPUs to companies that need GPUs. So they're not really taking a risk in a certain direction. They're just powering the entire AI revolution as a whole. And that's why they're going to have a lot of money. They're going to see a lot of profits into the future, regardless of DeepSeek and regardless of competitors like AMD, Intel. Although I do think AMD is also a brilliant move because it's also a good piece of the pie of the AI revolution. So there is limited alternatives to Nvidia. Nvidia continues to be the only game in town, as I'm going to say. I'm going to quote that because I was reading a lot of research, and I think a lot of analysts right now, there's some controversy. Some analysts say it's the only game in town. Some analysts say it's overvalued.
I do want to point out that the last time I did Invest with Henry video, he was like screaming how great of a buy AMD was as it was continuing to go down. Just putting that out there.
I'm going to tell you why Nvidia is not overvalued with facts. Price.
And if we're going to apply that same logic here, then Nvidia is basically going to zero. Just saying. Thomas says, I bought the Nvidia and sold it today. Got to thinking, waiting for a clear trend up. There you go. At least you found your the right way there, Thomas. Way to go. Sebastian says, make trading great again. Bought the dip in Nvidia, sold it again today. Got to thinking, wait a minute. Okay, he just kind of put it there in twice. Very cool.
Price to earnings ratio. And that I'm going to explain.
Okay, I'm glad you brought this up. Price to earnings ratio. Who gives a shit? Just being realistic here. This morning I made a video and I was talking about how I needed to find some quotes that really helped resonate with a few of those things that I talked about, right? That sort of mentality that fundamentals mean absolutely nothing. One of them, and I forget who it was, but I think it was Bruce Kovner. He said that fundamentals follow price, right? Fundamentals follow price. So price will make the move, and then fundamentals will be there to justify why the price happened. So here's the thing. You should follow price too. And then let the fundamentals catch up to you, because they only come out once a year or once a quarter. If the fundamentals only come out once a quarter, don't you think there's 89 other days of the quarter that you could be making trades and following the way that the trend is going? Right? Who gives a shit about EPS?
By showing you a clip of Tom Lee and the valuation of Nvidia and what he said about Nvidia's valuation. So there's a 2-minute clip. It's a little longer, but it puts into perspective perfectly what valuation is.
We're going to cut it after this clip here, because I really do. I don't have all day, unfortunately. I'd love to hang with you guys all day, but I do have to run in just a little bit.
Nvidia was at 100 PE. I'd probably say that there's too much good news priced in, but the PE is around 30 times. I'm not sure that that's very demanding for investors. And if you look a couple years out, it's in the 20s. I don't think Nvidia is priced for perfection. Is the market itself? I don't think so. I mean, the 10-year now is backing off to 4 or 5, so you're still paying over 20 times for a 10-year bond. The median PE in the S&P is around 18 times.
Yeah, but I mean, because it's skewed, though, because of the mega caps, we're still like 22-ish times. So, earnings have to be really good from here on out, right? Don't tell me about multiple expansion again driving this train. You got to put up or shut up when it comes to earnings this period.
That's right. But, I've been researching companies since the early 90s, so over 34 years. I never found a PE for a high-quality company to be at 22 times, let's say for Mag 7, to be a demanding multiple. Again, I think if you're talking about price for perfection, it really has to be stocks where you have to back into the NPV of 100% earnings growth forever.
What happens if, at bare minimum, we are questioning NASDAQ stocks for the foreseeable future? Like, this doesn't feel like, oh, tomorrow everything's going to be great kind of deal. So as long as we're doing that, is there enough momentum behind some of these other areas of the market that this market as a whole can be okay?
Well, today, market breadth's actually pretty good.
I mean, Dow's up almost 200.
That's right. Even in NASDAQ, we have stocks that are up.
Yeah, Apple, Uber, Meta, yeah.
And I think year to date, we have 3 weeks in, and year to date, Bitcoin's outperforming, small caps outperforming financials. So I think the market does look pretty healthy. I would say it's...
To that point, right, there has been sell-offs, but to Tom Lee's point, right, we haven't seen, goodness gracious, all these ads. We have not seen real contagion yet, right? We've not seen, I mean, you look at this, you've got a lot of bright green, and you've only got a few bright red. We haven't seen fear and contagion just yet. No way. Yeah, it says Cisco sold picks and shovels in the 90s. Look what happened to them. It worked out well for a while until it didn't. Coach B, if anyone's concerned about PE ratios, you're in investory in my eyes, I guess. PE isn't for price action short term. For sure. But a lot of people look at, well, so here's the thing, Coach B, and you would know. If I'm a long-term investor, I can't imagine. It boggles my mind, right? And clearly I have a different mindset from a lot of people, but it boggles my mind how people can sit and watch an investment go down and claim, hey, I'm a long-term investor. I don't care, right? I'm a long-term investor in AMD. I don't care if it goes down. Just this morning, I was covering a Jeremy LaFay video, and he was saying, if Facebook goes or Meta goes down to 500, I don't care. Do you really not care if 25% of your account is gone? Do you really not care if you worked for 30 years saving up as much as you can, and then the equivalent of 10 years of your life is wiped out? I would really care. I would care beyond belief if I let 10 years of saving, of struggling, of making sacrifices just evaporate because I said, I'm a long-term investor. When you put it in like time perspective, I think that makes a big difference. So even if you are a long-term investor, I can't imagine being cool with just watching your money evaporate. What does CNBC know? Adam says, thank you, OVTLYR, for the wonderful analysis and lessons in different formats. Well, Adam, you are very, very welcome. Michael, we're talking about trading. These guys are talking about investing. I don't know. To me, it's all the same. And it's all the same because only price pays. Only price pays. So let's do this. Let's rank this video here. Throw it in the chat. Throw it in the chat. Throw it in the chat. Okay. I didn't let him go the whole way. Of course, if he went the whole way, it would definitely change my score. What I got to see, I'm gonna throw it in 4. Yeah, I would throw it in mediocre, right? He wasn't the most biggest pumper of all time. I've seen lots of pumpers. in my opinion, he's just sitting, looking at the Nvidia price, going, damn, if only I had listened to Chris and watched these order blocks, and then realized that we got this this bearish trend set up here with the outlier trend template. Man, if I had only listened to that guy. Okay, we got lots of 4s. We got a 2 from Ryan. Invest with Henry, love selling puts. Oh, you don't love selling puts when the price of the stock goes down 1955. Hey, no coming back from that. Like $2,000 in losses per contract. Give me a break. That sucks. Let's see. Hectech, Reason Craving 5. We got 2s and 3s and 4s and 5s. Very cool, everybody. Very cool. Thank you all so much for that. Now, let's continue on here to today's member highlight. And we're going to jump in the Discord, but it may have to be quick. I apologize so much that I got to run, but I'm doing my best here. All right, so Mikey Mike. So he was talking about, okay, based on the golden ticket trading strategy, I would trade this call. See red arrow. Hopefully I'm correct. At what point does the delta become too far away from 80 to trade? One more thing. Robinhood does not have an extrinsic value column. Ooh, that does suck. How would I calculate that based on the info on this chart? You're going to have to do math, which blows. Like, this is not like the easiest math. So first off, you're looking at the HSBC 47s, the delta, where's delta? Delta. Here, 88. Okay. So your open interest. Yeah, that's a good one. I would be looking more. I might be looking at the 50. Where's my delta at the 50? 74. So honestly, Mikey Mike, between the two of these, I would be more leaning on the 50 strike versus the 47 strike. And I'll explain why. First, it's going to cost you less, right? So basically half, 280. $2.95, $3 versus $6, basically. You're $3 closer to the money by doing so. It's a 75 delta. It still has 750 open interest. Okay, so here we're going to do math. And this is not like the easiest math in the whole world. So the current price is 52.30 on this, right? 52.3. Okay. Oh, geez, hang on. Let me clear all this. 52.3. Okay. So you subtract your strike. So in this case, the 50 strike from 52.3 gives you $2.30. The difference in here, so the $2.30 is your intrinsic value. That's how much moneyness, right? That's how much moneyness is in this strike. So the difference in 230 and the 295, that's your extrinsic value. So 230 minus 2.95. So that means there's 65 cents of extrinsic value in the 50 strike. Now we're going to do more math. So 65 cents divided by the total price of the option at 295 is 22%, which falls right onto what I would be looking at. So yes, you can do it. Do that ultra blows if they don't have an extrinsic column, because that's a lot of math to do just for just to figure out which strike. But I mean, you're in the right track. You're on the right ballpark there. Joey had this here. Avoid big losses. A 10%. Oh, this is what we were talking about yesterday, right? A 10%. This is really good. I need to save this. Hang on. Saving you. Thank you very much. A 10% loss requires an 11% gain to get back. A 20% loss requires a 25% gain. A 50% requires a 100% gain to get back. And a 90% loss requires a 900% gain to get back. Now, this is the one that really breaks people's brain. How does a 50% loss take a 100% gain to get back, right? Imagine for a moment, you have a $100 stock, okay? That stock drops by half, and now it's a $50 stock, okay? So it's a 50% loss. In order for the $50 stock to now become a $100 stock, it has to go up 100%, right? That's how the math works. And that's why I say losses work against you so much more than your winners do. And you've got to keep in mind this exact thing right here. It can very quickly get out of hand. And while a 10% loss and 11% to get back, that's manageable. If you're down 50%, you have to double your account to get back to even. That's a lot. Mikey Mike says, math sucks. Thanks, Chris. I see a Tradier account in my future. Yes, you do. In fact, I recommend everybody go over to trade.tradier.com/outlier because you can get a pretty freaking sweet deal. I'm glad you mentioned it. I believe it's 6 months of Tradier Pro for free, plus $150 reimbursement back into your account from Tradier for being an Outlier customer. So definitely want to check that out. Thanks for mentioning it. Let's continue on here. Really appreciate you guys dropping out everything in the Discord. I don't have a chance to continue on with that right now, but of course, tell everybody you know about what we do. That's me and Mahesh, of course. We're in the Fight Club. But we have the opposite saying, which is tell everybody about it, right? Now, hit the like button if you haven't already, and we'll get back to trading here in the Outlier trading room. So real quick, what is Outlier? What does it do? Well, old Uncle Warren would say, be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. An Outlier shows you if investors are acting rationally fearful or greedy, and by how much, allowing you to get into the stock move before it happens. And you can still save 64% and get the annual pass for just 82 cents a day, but that does end at the end of the month, which is at the end of the week, which means you better get on it if you want to get Outlier for just 82 cents a day. Now, my style of trading is called the golden ticket trading strategy, and it always starts with the market with the Outlier trend template. The market's going to tell you which direction it's going. So the 10 over the 20, price over the 50 on the SPY. So let's go to the SPY. And it's coming back. It's coming back. Let me take this off, remove all annotations. It's coming back. We've got the 10 is over the 20. Prices over the 50. Now you can apply this to every stock. You can apply this to every time frame. Let's say you trade on a 5-minute chart, right? Let's say you trade on a 5-minute chart. This is a great example. The SPY had been going down intraday, and then just a minute ago, did we have that crossover? The 10 crossed over the 20 right here, price crossed back over the 50, and now it's looking bullish. Okay, you can trade that on any time frame on any stock. It's just math. So the trend is definitely up. Now, market breadth, on the other hand, has peaked and is coming back in. So for me, that is a big red flag. That's the next step here, which is we have the SPY with the buy signal. The market trend is bullish right now. Market breadth, however, has peaked and is now getting lower. And as we talked about earlier, this is a perfect example of what market breadth looks like. How many people are out there trying to buy this stock? How many people are like, oh my gosh, I have to have it right now? If breadth is waning, you're at the end, you're at the tail end of this. And you don't want to be at the tail end of anything, right? Have a pleasant afternoon, Marco B. You're very welcome. Before we go, let's drop a couple quotes on here. And this is one that I saw that I wanted to mention. So Tom Basso is one of the market wizards that I worked with. I had somebody ask me the other day, they're like, oh yeah, where's your proof you worked with the market wizards? Bro, luckily for you, I was able to record some of the work that I did with them. And you can actually find that if you search around in the archives of my YouTube channel, you'll see interviews with Minervini, interviews with Jason Shapiro, interviews with Tom Basso, interviews with Jack Schwager, interviews with Larry Haidt, right? They're all there, right? So I don't know why I have to give you evidence that I did work with them, but it's there. You're welcome. So Tom Basso, I think investment psychology is far more important, is by far the more important element, followed by risk control, with the least important consideration being the question of where you buy and sell. Who's that sound right? Who's that sound like, right? Trading psychology, being able to follow your plan, A, having a plan, B, following it, and C, risk control, right? Tom Basso is the one who told me you can buy any stock on any day and it doesn't matter. All you need to know is where you're going to get out. That's the risk control he's talking about here. And that's what he means. Like the question of where you buy and sell doesn't really matter as long as you know where you're going to get out. And if it works, let that guy run. Let him run as far as he possibly can, right? So and in my opinion, that applies to both trading and investing, right? It's all there. Just follow the price. Price will tell you where it's going. Sean, appreciate all that you guys are doing for us. You're welcome. Dude, you have no idea how stoked I am that I have made over 2,000 YouTube videos, and that's not an exaggeration. Some of them happen to be with market wizards. A lot of them got no views. I'm telling you, I would put out a video that would get 20 views. And now we're putting out videos that get 2,000 plus views. And it's awesome. Like we're actually making a difference now. And it totally works by having clickbait, and it totally works by having these reaction videos, but you guys are loving it. And so I'm super stoked that we have been able to connect and make these videos work for you, right? Like It doesn't matter to me if you get an outlier account or not. It doesn't matter to me if you get a TrendSpider account or not. It doesn't matter to me if you get a Trader account or not. This is what I do, right? Some people's passion is bowling, and they will spend all of their time, all of their life bowling. Some people's passion is archery, and they will do everything they possibly can to get into archery. Some people, like our friend Dave, who's always in the Discord, is pistol shooting. Dude was almost qualified for the Olympics in pistol shooting. How cool is that? My thing is trading. So if you want to know anything about trading, you come to the right guy right here. ESAT, people are like sheeps. When does something all follow? And that's what the trends are. Yeah, I never doubted you either, Mikey Mike. Not 1 minute. Well, there's no trade set up for me. I'll look at Payo. This would be my last thing, and then I got to bounce. I got to bounce quick. I have 2 minutes before I got to run. Payo. Payo. All right, first off, we've Tech. Great stock. I'm really glad you mentioned this one. So first off, it's let's break this down together. First thing to notice is it's like all over this order block, right? This order block is giving it so much support. Every time it's even trying to fall out of it, it's coming back, right? There are big institutional orders who want to own this. I have 60 seconds. I got to run. There are big institutional orders that just want to own this, okay? The trend template is showing you currently it's bullish. Now, of course, it's crossed a lot right here, but it's currently bullish. The other problem is that you've got a large overhead resistance right here at 1150 and another overhead resistance at 1281. So I wouldn't trade this personally. I would not put I wouldn't put your money in this. This is the way I put it, because you've got a lot of overhead resistance, but you do have the underhead. I don't know, the floor of the support. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if it bounced through here for a while. It's going to take something monumental to push it up, or obviously to break it down through there. So you're very welcome. Tell me what you're trading in the chat. And of course, come back tomorrow. We'll help you save time, make money, and start winning with less risk together as a team. YouTube's going to pop up a couple recommended videos right now. I recommend you click on one of them. Have a fantastic day, and we'll talk soon. Where's that button?